Saw another bus with a great ladder on the back that I'm trying to like piece together pieces of pictures and information to start working on the ladder to be able to get to the roof and the roof deck and the solar panels in the future here. So bear with me. All right. So, greetings and salutations, everyone. Are we live? Are we looking good? We are live. We are looking good. All right. Make sure that everything was working correctly here. Oh, my neck is sore today. Sore. We're still mostly set up for fire, although we do have a little bit of acidy goodness ready to go, primed for action here. We're level 15. We're 2 dots in. We have a couple of different things that we can consider. That's not the worst. Oh, outbid on my Vorpal Quarterstaff of Feeding. I don't know. May not get it now. Vorpal level 5 search. It was off in an hour and 12 minutes. Alright, well, we'll just bid on it again. We might end up getting into a pretty crazy bidding war here, and I don't want to do that. Mostly because I don't want to sit here for the next hour and like back and forth. So, I'm not gonna. It's my plan. I'm just not gonna. This all seems fine. Ooh, sweet, we have a couple of points here. I definitely think I want to take at the moment and do improve shield. That seems like a winning thing. And then we still gotta get to 30 points in this stupid tree. It is taking its sweet time. No, I should definitely sit there and wait to do a bidding war. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's where the action is. I should set an alarm though for an hour and 9 minutes or something and come back and look and see. There we go. We still have game sounds. It's just really faint. Anyway, morning Talabbies. For those of you who missed it, we did record a DDO cast late last night. Sure that'll be up pretty soon. I think that's part of the reason we recorded it late last night. Or at least wait for you to finish Wizard King and get some gear on. I mean, waiting sounds like a terrible idea. But I can go do some other things if you are like trying to hint that you're ready for 13s. What am I looking at? None of those things are things I'm looking at. This is what I'm looking at. So like normally I'd go hit Assault on Summerfield area right now. That's kind of where I'd normally go. But we'll give Talab a couple of minutes and we'll go hit House Jalasco. House Jalasco, the San Francisco treats. Actually, we have like 6. We have like 6 keys. Take me to the Night Revels. Alright, it's been a minute since I've looked to see what I've got or what I don't have, so let's just use this as like an excuse to see what we need. We don't have almonds, we don't have caramels, we don't have apples. The apples quest kind of suck. I just did Getting Ahead, and maybe that wasn't it. Yeah, I think it was getting ahead. I don't like that quest at all. So, the first time I do Resurrection Chamber, however, is going to be a lot of experience. So I kind of want to save that. So I guess we'll just go do this one again. Groan. So both Haberdasher's Quest and Resurrection Chamber I have skipped so far. Oh no, I did Smashing Pumpkins earlier. Yeah, never mind. This one's fine. I actually like this one. Getting ahead. Alright. Well, I should probably get in a voice chat also. There we go. So the kid is off looking at an apartment or a house or something. I'm assuming it's an apartment. This is why we're playing DDO today and not Mario Galaxy. Hey, how's it going, Thagar? Not too bad, all things considered. Smash that urn. We're gonna D-door back. It just saves us a little bit of time. It's not end of the world amount of saving. Not that the end of the world is saving. I actually really do like this one. I think this is a fun take on this particular quest. Some of the other ones I don't love as much, but this one has been enjoyable in particular. I do like the idea that they do this. Take another quest and give it a Halloween theme, and it is a enjoyable thing that they do. I'm kind of sad, but I do understand why they didn't have an opportunity to do it this year. So just everything on their plate. You have to give them some slack. Alright, if you missed my weapon discussion yesterday, we actually have quite a few weapons in our maybe list right now. Of course, at 18, we're going to be trying the Bone Crusher. That's like the main thing. But we have several different weapons to kind of play with and give a shot to right now. Something I should have been using for several levels now, I actually started using yesterday, and that's what you're probably... What did we miss? Oh, I didn't smash the urn in this room. That's what I missed. So right now we're using a Petrifying Shadow Staff with quite a few things in it. Overall, this thing is a Bone Prison, Life Stealing, Lesser Vampirism, +5. I force damaged it. Like, it's got a bunch of things on it. Then, of course, if we take a look at the other perks that you get from being an Eldritch Knight glued onto it, there's a lot of Value Town. Value Town. All that stuff being said, we also have at our disposal Dream Splitter, which is pretty good. If we're going to be casting holds specifically, it really kind of goes that little extra mile. It's probably also really solid against the Abishais. I don't know yet. We haven't fiddled with it too much. The main difference between the Shadow Staff and the Dream Splitter is that the Shadow Staff has an opportunity to do the holding in advance or on its own, and the Shadow Staff has the Lesser Vampirism, which, as you can see, all these ones flying by, it adds up very quickly. Because unlike the new Vampirism that triggers like once every so many seconds, this does trigger on every hit, which means if you get a cleave, you get a hit for every cleave point, etc. It all really does a lot of work. Let's see. The other thing we have at our disposal here is the Light Unending, and it may actually be better for this kind of quest. It's a Banisher, Meddling, Vertigo. We're not really tripping a whole lot. Solar 3, which tends to do a lot of extra work against undead. Again, I think it's probably fine to just continue to stay alive. If we can stay alive, we can get through the quest. So it's part of the reason we're continuously on the Petrifying Shadow Staff, but it is something to think about. Big cleave, bigger cleave. Just start smashing. There's all of our line of ones. That is roughly how many times we attacked bad guys. Oh yeah, picked up a rank even. Nice. Let's see. The other weapon at our disposal is the Sarian Quarterstaff. I think we're going to see that get mostly used in... Is that a breakable or a clickable? It's got to be a breakable, right? Yeah, it is a breakable. What is Pentecost? Pentecost? Isn't that a variation of Christianity? A Christian holiday of Pentecost, celebrated on the 50th day after Easter Sunday. Descendants of the Holy Spirit upon the apostles and other... yeah, I guess it's just an observance day. In the New Testament, it is the day that the Holy Spirit descended upon the disciples of Jesus. So 50 days after Easter. 50 weekends. Alright. Let's see. Again, we'll use this kind of as our guide. So now we have caramels, so now we need apples. Apples is one of the ones that I just don't like. Because I was doing smashing pumpkins for apples, and that one's lame. Grave work, on the other hand, this one is totally fine for apples. Although I do think that this is the first time this go around. Yeah, this might be a first time experience bonus thing. I'm not for certain. Hop like a big bunny, hop. So we're still kind of getting used to the our spells have a range of touch. Trying to remember how to do this now. Yep. Like I said, you gotta be careful, man. Like things like that, acting out can stain a reputation for a long time. Alright, so I have to go through the front door, I guess. Word of warning to anyone thinking of rolling up one, even though shifters shapeshift does not cause you to be uncentered. They still don't make good monks because they may not make you uncentered, but it blocks your monk stances. Oh, so their form... It's considered in the shapeshifting to be in the same category. I would assume it would be a quote-unquote major form like Shroud of the Lich, which does work with stances, or Shroud of the Zombie, or whatever. Shifter Monk. Yeah, I mean... I don't know. Yeah. So I'm saying, if they're forms, they should stack together and work. Because if one's a form and the other one's not, it's a stance, it should go together. We just woo-wooed a tree, you guys. That feels good. Yeah, I haven't got a chance to fiddle with the shifter yet. I hope to pretty soon. I'm kind of hoping by the end of the week. Maybe. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Um, 100 base damage per swing on any character at level 15 is just bonkers. No, like a strength-based barbarian with like Sword of Shadows or a green steel weapon. Like I could be doing more damage if I had like a green steel weapon. Also, if we hit the know the angles button. We could also like be boosting our intelligence more. There's some things we could do to increase our damage if we were up to hitting the buttons consistently. It might still be good for monks if you're not interested in the form. I don't know. I said I'm just one of those people that I don't look at stuff on Lamania. So it's hard to kind of think about. I don't know, I'm just looking forward to trying one. I love Eberron based stuff. The more Eberron-y the game gets, the more happy I am. So the fact that they added Shifter as the next race is pretty good in my opinion. So much power creep, like I'm not a strength-based barbarian with an SOS and you're doing 100 base damage plus. Yeah, I mean, the other things to keep in mind are stuff like I've got almost all my past lives done, right? All my heroic past lives done. So I'm getting this massive pile of like perks. So like every time I attack, I'm doing bonus damage here, bonus damage there from past lives, stuff like that. My gear's pretty good. I mean, a first life character on this build would be a little less damage, but not so far. Gotta get this guy. Here he is. The Supreme Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Past lives give quite a bit, actually. So you're getting 3 damage every hit, right? And then because I have racial lives that give +2 intelligence, so my intelligence is higher. And then I have completionist, so that's making my intelligence higher. And then there's that chest. I knew there was a chest down here somewhere. Let's see, is there another? There's a couple more things I think that are adding up. I mean, whether it gives it to you in straight damage, whether it gives it to you in like attack bonus, whether it gives it to you, I don't need that stuff. Bonus kill all Minotaur skeletons. I gotta kill 32 more. Yeah, I don't think there's a need for that, right? I don't think so. I think this is all we need to do. +5. I mean, that's still quite a bit when you consider you're adding a bunch of other stuff together to get to +5s. Another 5. I mean, that's 5% of those hundreds. Depends on how you look at it, I suppose. You want Kitsune? Yeah, Kitsune would be okay. I don't know. I want them to finish the Eberron stuff first, I guess. I like that they added the base gnome. 1, I love gnomes. And 2, I'm really glad that they took the time to add it. But I would also be really pleased if they continue to focus on Eberron specific races as well. And honestly, I think races is probably a good thing for them to be working on right now as a way to expand. The prestige classes, or the enhancement lines, shouldn't be as difficult to add as like a new class or whatever. Then races feel really interesting to me along with the content. I feel like it's a good way to expand the game. So First Lifer will probably end up doing 69 apples. Would probably end up doing assuming they got all the same gear, which, who knows. Some of it's easy to come by, some of it's less easy to come by. I think you'd be close. And again, I'm not even saying that what I've got picked out here is necessarily correct or top tier. Alright, so now we're just missing almonds. Spooky almonds. It's always almonds with these things. Also, before we do that, we picked up a second point. So int. This will take us even again. And then with our Reaper enhancements, I mean, this is where some of our damage is coming from as well, right? Reaper enhancements. We're picking up some melee power here. We're picking up just straight up hit and damage here. Again, we're picking up intelligence here, so we actually are 1 extra intelligence over when we step into a Reaper quest. But we won't be in Reaper quest now. Yeah, I think that's fine. You're not whining or complaining, it's just it still makes me surprised. Yeah, I can understand that. Being surprised a little bit. But also, the thing to keep in mind is that, especially when you're doing the older content, it seems very much out of whack. But when you step into a newer quest, right, it definitely feels necessary. So the power creep is definitely on both sides. I guess is my point. It's not just on the hero side. Also, this idea, this boost, know the angles, for an extra, what is that? An extra 9 damage every attack. I think that's, if you can remember to hit it, it's a pretty good deal. I'm pretty sure it's the other way around. I'm pretty sure they made the characters tougher for the new content. Sorry I missed this comment here. Let me roll back just a second. I mean, I guess it makes no more or less valuable than most other races. In my opinion, monks are currently the class in the worst place. Yeah, I don't know if I can get behind that sentiment. I feel like monks are in a reasonable place. Maybe not ideal. I think warlocks personally are probably in the worst place. Although they did just kind of tweak warlocks. But I just don't think warlocks are fun. So, grain of salt me there. I don't think I had the right shield on. Come back into the firewall, fool. Oh yeah, look at that fire damage though. Oh yeah, that's nice. That is not the button I meant to push. The other thing to keep in mind is that, like, if I can remember to activate my boosts, like, we can actually do quite a few things to increase our damage overall too. are you hiding? Also, one other thing, Infinitely. Because we're kind of built to play in Reaper mode, things get a little bit weird when you step into not Reaper modes. I'm mostly referring to relative performance, but funness factor. Because in fact, Monk is one of my favorite classes, which is why I'm sad they're relatively weak. Because they are melee cloth where they suffer from having 50 MMR at cap at high content, which is fair because they had a time where they were way over. Their damage is not competitive with the top tier anymore. Is that true? I mean, some of these things I'm not 100% sure about anymore. Their AoE is much worse than 2-weapon fighting, especially since their cleave speed, rebalance, nerf monk, whirlwind attack, even their niche of the strongest CC melee isn't even that anymore. Because since bears and fighters are both stronger CC now. Everything can wax and wane a little bit. I still think Monk is probably one of the stronger classes when it comes to like a quarterstaff build. Rogue is also up there, like some sort of rogue monk build is probably the best. But I think it's certainly up there. For flexibility, it's certainly high. But yeah, I don't know how it stacks up in the very indiest most game content now with everything else. But pajama wearing guys were monks with King of the Hill for a while. Then they got rebalanced slightly. So I'm okay with the rebalancing. People can wax and wane on the top of the hill. As long as they continue to be fun to play for the people who enjoy playing them. I said I like Monk. I think Monk's in a really good spot. But I could, I don't play at level 20 plus very often. It's true they were probably in this situation because of how long they spent as one of the absolute strongest classes. Yeah. I would say that's probably true. Things can wax and wane and adjust. I mean, it's all part of the balancing act. Yeah, go right. I would put us in friends camp. But the thing to keep in mind is that I'm also a person that you're not going to be able to color with a single bad impression, but I don't have any qualms about the people who do have a lasting long impression. Or even worse, maybe that wasn't your first impression. Maybe that was your 17th bad impression, and you just didn't know it. All right, so we have a small stockpile. We have one more key. I suppose we can go ahead and knock out one more of these. It doesn't take very long. We give Talab another minute. My bus is better than the camper? I hope so. That's the plan. My plan is that I can make it nice. Like I don't want to say we're not sparing expenses, because we are. We're definitely making certain cuts in budget here and there and things. But there's things that we've wanted to do, so we're doing them. Like we wanted nice countertops, so we spent the money to put in nice countertops. We wanted a nice floor, so we spent the money to get a nice floor. Like my floor it's only like it's less than 200 square feet, right? My floor, but the floor was $450, not including me spending a week working on it, not including the materials to actually put it down. Like just the base material of the floor itself. So like it adds up. And there's nothing saying that you can't. No, we spent 5 years saving up money to be able to do this. You know, and I sold a bunch of Magic cards. I need to sell more Magic cards. That's something that I need to be spending more time working on. But like putting time and energy and money into a project to get it exactly what you want is pretty sweet. Katsasuma, how's it going, my friend? Welcome back. Feel like I scared you away the other day. Yeah, just take me to the public area for now. Good, I'm glad you're not too bad. This is not where I wanted to go. I wanted to go on the other side. I wanted to go to House Kandaric. Ah, good. Alright. So we could pick up another Ruby of Ghostbane. That would give us a second spare. But I also kind of like the idea of waiting for that quarterstaff that we got and slap another Festival of Solar in. Should also take some time and look at some other miscellaneous gear that I've probably held from the hardcore server. See what else has made its way over. You've been debating whether you should sell some Magic cards. I mean, isn't that always the great dilemma of our age? All I know is I've kind of been slowly doing some stuff here and there, but I really need to go and generate a couple $1,000 and so I can get the solar. Yeah, some 4 and Black Border revised dual lands. I don't know if the foreign part was actually going to help you, but Black Border dual lands would be... It's pretty good. I have a guy wanting to know if we do tournaments. Okay, here we go. Anyway, hang on a second. Let me... MTG stocks. So like, what do you have in particular? Wow, is the website just broken? Everything... No, I'm still moving. No, yeah, it's going. Why is this website not going? So MTG stocks is where I typically look for something. Wow, it's certainly does not act like it's working today. Can I go by sets, please? There we go. Alright, so you said beta? Revised. Black Border revised. Oh, yeah. What am I thinking? There we go. 4 and Black Border. And then go up here. We can. So like a Savannah is really, there's no US price. Weird. You have a Tundra, 2 Scrublands, and 2 Savannahs. Well, this site may not be that helpful, actually. There may just not be that much of it here in the States to be able to sell. Scrublands. Or you may have to look. Here's a. Did you say Taiga? Taiga? No, you did not. Yeah, like everything's listed as NA. I have the feeling that maybe the foreign revised part is a bit of a problem. They don't have any prices listed for this. How about here? They have prices for that though. So yeah, maybe revised foreign edition, all their prices are basically in pounds. So you may have to look them up on like TCG Player instead and see. Well, here you go. But like, see the difference here from revised, $250 or 302 euros, but the revised version NA in 218 euros. Like, that's a pretty significant decrease. So I don't know, man. They may or may not be. I've got some foreign stuff, foreign Black Border stuff that just the price is just completely shot in the foot. So, I mean, they're still better probably getting sold than not if you're looking for the cash. But I would want to wait until Paper Magic is back for expensive cards like that. Alright. Slab was looking for his gloves, I believe. I'll be ready to do some stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick up my my buffs, and I'm going to head back to actually getting a quest done. He can join us in progress. Apparently I've decided to make it nighttime. It's a pretty sick little view. Playing word games with some guildies here. TCG Player has the Tundras around 600. There you go. Where the revised are like 300. Oh, then. Skip ahead. I actually love Medusas. I really do. I think Medusas are great. The DDO Medusas are pretty sweet. Yeah, I mean, the value of a card is what the value is to the person that sells it, right? So, that was weird. You guys see how that color shifted? Well, both people, right? Because if I decide my card something is worth more than you're willing to pay, then we don't make a deal. That is how the economy works. Yeah, and the person who buys it. Yeah, I don't know. So I need to move some inventory. We're getting to the... Can I not hear you? I cannot hear you. And you're completely maxed out on my end. Are you ready for invitations?
I am talking. Can you hear me?
I hear you now, slightly.
Okay.
You're still kind of quiet for being completely maxed out.
I don't know what to tell you. I've got my mic all the way up.
Yeah. I know, it was happening last time too. That I found you in particular to be difficult to hear. I assume you're dragging red all over the place.
I sure am.
I apparently need to go and watch. Not even a competitor. I don't know what you would call. They're people from this town, Salina, that moved to a kind of nearby town, like an hour and some away, and they ended up opening their own game store. And where are you, Cap? There he is. And they opened up a neighboring a game store, like I said, like about an hour and a half away, something in that ballpark, hour and 15 minutes. And one of the things that they do is they record little videos, like what's going on this week at the store, little videos. And they also have real jobs, like that's not their full-time gig. And I guess a couple of weeks ago they had pre-sold a whole bunch of the Zendikar Rising rares, like pre-sell them on TCG Player and stuff like that, and they did not get their allotted amount of what they had planned for getting cards to people, so they could not make their commitments, and apparently they were making some sort of weird video. Northeast, no, it'd be west of here, Great Bend. west and like a little bit south, but mostly west. Great Bend is pretty much dead center in the state. Like it may not be exactly, but it's very, very close. A little slow. Come on, Carney. What are you doing? There you go. See, in Fentley now we're down to 70 points of damage and attack.
Are we just like going on side forward and finishing this, or what? Or are you doing all the options?
You can. I'm not going to do all the optionals, but I do have a path of a couple optionals. I'm going to grab the next guy right here. So you can sally port if you want. No, the defensive line.
Oh, look at us healing each other with our death auras.
Oh, I don't have a death aura running. Look at you healing us with your death aura.
I know. What can I say? I'm a team player, right?
Yeah, I'm just... For me to take and turn something on, I need a reason.
That's a lie. I am not a team player. We got chests up here.
Should be. Well, I opened one because I forgot, but there should be another one up here.
Because you're not a team player, and that's what it is.
Yeah. Two of them, actually. Look at that.
Ooh, two of them.
Yeah, I killed one of the names
Okay.
on that little track around when I'm not being a team player. Just walk, it's fine. Patrick took us away from you last night. Sure, but I was over on DDO Cast. People were welcome to hang out there. And we ended up streaming until basically the time that I would wrap for the night anyway, so worked out pretty good, I think.
You can show this off to all the people.
Oh yeah, your Hornicorn.
My Hornicorn.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad actually.
I like the black one. Alright, how are we going about this one? Are we doing Zerg mode infinite?
It doesn't matter, whatever. Just cranking through things.
And I'm just going to invis and go get stuffs.
Okay.
Which road did you go to?
I will be going to the right, because I always go to the right.
Oh, you guys go right? Then I will go to the left.
Do I have enough trap making shenanigans that I can just go trappy traps? I don't think so.
You should just have a D-door.
I do, but I also have enough intelligence to just open the door. I don't hate the idea of everything like exploding together nice and pretty either.
I see.
I made all these friends. What's up, Bash? Alright, so it must be down below. I guess I'm killing Bash.
Okay.
There we go. Now we teleported down below.
The lower decks of the Carnage is abuzz with activity. The entire crew is awakened by the alarm.
I found the monkey sigil. The sigil of the monkeys. Uh oh, Rhett's running out of the hit points over there.
That's alright. He's less than important.
Aww.
The hatch to the mine bay looks like it requires some kind of quest to unlock.
More importantly, we picked up all the collectibles.
From bays like this, the Droam fleet has deployed enough mines to stop all shipping in Stormreach Harbor. If you can get past the Cobalt engineers, you can find the mines. This panel controls the detonators on all the mines from the Vengeance, both those already deployed in the water and those still here in this bay.
Ooh, is your Reaper in here?
I set this ship to go boom boom. You made a bunny? You make a bunny.
Just
Oh, is that what's messing up
Droam ship to send to the bottom of the ocean.
Red?
Aw, I tried.
Ja boom boom.
I wouldn't go over there if I were you.
Is that one exploding?
All the mines have been
Okay.
detonated, and the mine
I think I still died.
You have
I
grown
didn't even see you going over there until.
Stormreach Harbor.
Oh, I didn't
Too
see that.
late.
I didn't see that you had succeeded on the other one already.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Ooh, man, we even got enough kills to get Reaper experience. Look at us.
Yeah, I'm not doing a quest without Reaper experience. You kidding? That's malarkey. Speaking of malarkey, I just got a mail, so we're gonna find out if I won my sweet level 3 quarterstaff to throw in my quarterstaff pile, or if I got my pile of gold back. Make your bets now, folks.
I bet that you got something in the mail.
Oh, no, I got DDO points. Oh, everyone would have been wrong.
No, I was right. You got something in the mail.
No, that was literally nothing. Kapow. Not a lot going on either. I'm just like glancing at what's going on, what's carrying on in the Twitter feeds, and just nothing. Not hardly anything. Although there's a pretty hilarious picture of, in my opinion, of apparently some ballot counting positions in California, and they have two box containers sitting right next to each other, like you would for at the post office. They have like these big plastic boxes. And they used alligator clips and a printed sign. One in red says ballots rejected as illegal, sitting right next to a ballot that said in black that says ballots accepted as legal.
Nice.
Like, other than that clip, there's nothing to identify them as different from one another. That to me is insane. Here, I turn on my aura, one of my auras for you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm really liking how this is kind of coming together.
Yeah, I'm not hating my Eldritch Knight.
I just haven't got the tier 5 of the Eldritch Knight unlocked yet, which is kind of aggravating.
Yeah, I've already got mine. I'm working on Necromancer now.
Couple of fragments, bonus chest. This is one of the things I dislike about that other form is I cast a spell, it's a legal target, but then by the time the spell finishes getting cast, it's no longer a legal target, so the spell just goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just walked further away than... Fragmente... Baggy, Fragmente... Oh no, explosive bombos! Oh. I'm gonna pick up these fragments. I'm gonna pick up more fragmentes. Let you go boom boom. More fragmentes. Uh-oh. Slab got ahead of me and was able to kill more monsters. I don't know what kind of creature could reduce Medusa's stony gaze. They always make me hard. I got to make an occasional inappropriate joke at Patrick's expense last night. That was great too. Honestly, if I had been around a long time, I should other people hold a grudge because I smacked them back in the day and try to make them better. So people don't always appreciate things. You know, one way or the other, people hold still. People are going to remember things, and if they are treated well, whether you meant it with good hearts or bad hearts, it doesn't matter. That's the reputation that you cultivate. And now to uncultivate it, takes a lot of work.
I'm trying to stay a good distance ahead of you for reasons.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, for reasons.
For reasons?
For reasons.
Okay, well, I'm gonna continue to pick up optionals.
That's fine. I'm just
For
telling you,
reasons
I'm trying to stay ahead of you for reasons.
Okay.
Although the reasons are done, like we already got past them, so.
You don't want to explode on me?
No, it's not anything like that. You have a certain rule on the stream that I'm trying to...
You taking advantage of the quest mechanic or whatever, it's fine. In my regard.
No, that it's taking advantage of the quest mechanic.
I don't know. if you're smelling around the idea that you can use an item sometimes without having to wait for a thing, then that's something that they should change if they think that's dangerous.
Kind of. Except for the fact that I never went to where you went.
That's true. I always go pick it up because I always come and get this.
Basically, I don't have the item to use.
Yeah, well, you're not using that item though. You're using the interactable.
I guess. And it would be simple enough for them to fix, right?
Yep, and just say these are not interactable, which is the
Yeah.
problem. That is what makes that happen.
Right.
Or they change the interactable option from explode to like D to D. Just makes a D to D noise. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
if they cared, they could change it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing like the things in I can't think of the name of the
Be
quest.
respectful of your dream and
Yeah, I
not,
appreciate it.
Only the E words,
Yeah.
but at the same time keeping a good pace going.
Yeah. Well, I said that. To me, there's definitely, if they come out and they were to say, "Hey, this is not intentional, this is a thing," it's part of the problem with their lack of communication when it comes to E words. And if they
Yeah.
said, "Hey, doing this, we consider this to be exploitive, and we'd rather people not do it," I'd be like,
Yeah.
"Okay," and I would stop doing it.
Right.
But because of the way their policy of being tight-lipped on things like that, you don't know.
Right.
So, in my opinion, if it's something, if it's not so bad, where you go, that's definitely not cool, right? Then they could change it if they wanted to. You know, like Kobold's new ringleader, that jump over. Some people consider that not intended. I'm like, that's definitely intended. You know?
The box is way bigger than the rest of the boxes in the quest. It's pretty
Right.
obviously
But there's a
intended.
lot of people who would say no, it's not intended like that.
I cannot go that.
Explode. All I heard is don't glitch a red boss. I mean, there's definitely things in places where they don't want you to do things. And taking advantage of situations like attack chain movement, interrupting your attack chain and stuff like that, I get it. That's more of a working the skill. I don't know. I see it kind of both ways, but if they're not going to be really clear cut and define what they want from me, then I'm going to use my moral judgment to make the decision. Like, for example, clicking through something through a wall and looting a chest or pulling a lever or something. Those kind of things are pretty clearly not intended. Now, shooting a thing of air through a grate to break something, like that seems like it makes sense to me normally. But again, if they were to say, "Hey, we'd rather you not do this kind of stuff," then I get it. But I would be like, yes, because so many grates stop a breeze.
You see, I got the little displacer beast out too.
No, but I saw a picture. I haven't seen one. It's like itself yet.
Yeah.
It is cute.
Yep.
I would say the jump in Kobold's New Ringleader maybe wasn't intended. It could have been disconnected between visual and practical box creation. Yeah, I really think that that's a pretty obvious mechanic, in my opinion, that they were down with people having the ability to find other pathing, because it's a trend that they've done again and again and again. You know, like the Maze of Madness, they could take that out, they could change it, they could do anything. Like, there's 1,000 ways if they didn't want the Maze of Madness to continue that way, they could change it.
It's very easy for them to put a like fake ceiling.
A fake ceiling. They could literally just put another block there on
just
top.
Make it not like climbable, not jumpable.
Right. But in my mind, I certainly feel like when they do that kind of stuff, they give you those like little things that feels very pen and papery to me. Like, I mean, you've played with me.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's finding, like, using fun and guile is definitely a thing that I'm all about.
And if you've DM'd for more than like a year, you know that any plan that you put, your players will find a way to break it. And you just have to adapt as a DM and just, you know, let it happen. Or at least a good DM will adapt. You
Right.
know, like, a bad DM will be like, no, you can't do that. That's against the rules. Like, that's a bad DM.
Well, as long as it's in the rules. I don't know. For example, I'm doing a my turn to DM is coming up for my little group here. Really?
Did you get hard?
I did. I thought I was under the impression that the undeads couldn't get turned to stone.
And they're still flushy. The race can't.
The rate, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. And then 2, I had used my Harper pin and it didn't unstone me. Which again, I thought it worked. Anyway,
It should, but I don't know why it didn't, but it should.
And the other thing I was trying to say was I'm about ready to start my thing. So, for example, I told everybody that this is going to be a nautical quest. So, Tobrel's like, we should all just play Warforged. You know, because he's thinking, oh, I'm just going to drown everybody or whatever, you know. And I was like, look, if you guys independently decide that you want to play primarily Warforged or whatever, I'll deal with it. That may mean that enemies suddenly are using an awful lot of, like, pest rust monsters, or rust weapons all of a sudden are a thing. Like, we can do lots of things. And so I asked him again this last week what everyone was playing. And Tobrel's like, Adamantine Body Warforged Fighter. I'm like, alright, sweet. I'm like, just keep in mind, you may not drown, but if the boat can't find you and you can't catch up to it, you may be just as lost. It's like, well, then I'll roll up an alternate character that's exactly the same as this character.
It's his brother looking for him.
Hey Jen, welcome to the stream.
I have a player in my play group, and what he does is every game he has created a family of adventurers. And when he does another game, like when somebody else DMs, he has another family of adventurers that is a enemy of his original family of adventurers.
That's nice. So, this life in particular, I've had exploding problem or gravity related problems. So, I didn't get the other one set off to explode yet before I fell.
Okay.
Here we go.
Alright.
Got the swap to Twitch. I mean, you
It's a
can...
very intense moment. The chance to try something nobody's ever tried
Smurfs.
before.
Thank you, my friend. So I thought I recognized the name. Appreciate you helping us out with the subscription. 21 months. Thank you. Appreciate it. Keeping the dream alive, one subscriber at a time.
Oh man, about to hit the terrible twos over there.
Ever seen is here too.
The terrible twos.
Yeah, they're almost 2 years old.
Nah. That's not terrible. That's great. I don't know. All the different ages that people are like warned us about or whatever were never the things that I felt to be difficult. I never thought that quote unquote terrible twos were that bad.
No.
I personally, they were like the places that I had most problems with was like 5th, 6th, and 7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and we still are struggling from the ramifications of that to this day. Like, Remington, seriously, I cannot get I can't get him to understand the idea of like finish something, like start it, finish it, etc.
Uh-huh.
You know, or like tidying up after himself. You know, it's like, Remy, you know, if you just cleaned up your cans, right? Like your Buble cans or whatever, then I could sit at this table and do stuff. He's like, all right, I'll clean it up now. It's like, no, when you finish a can and you go to get another one because you're like a chain drinker, throw the other can in the sack. Well, he started carrying them into the kitchen and setting them next to the sink. I'm like, well, that doesn't help. Like, the sack is right there. Just crush the can and put it in the sack. Wow.
You're supposed to rinse them out first anyways, right?
No, they're all... We don't drink... Well, we mostly don't drink soda here. It's like sparkling water, so they don't
Yeah,
need
but
rinsed
doesn't
up.
that also get kind of sticky though?
No, there's no things to make things sticky. They're just water.
Oh, okay. I tried one of the sparkling waters at work the other night, and I don't know, it was pretty good. I had a lemon lime one, and it tasted kind of like Sprite.
Yeah, if you can get your taste buds off of the sugar, and you can actually... It takes a while, in my opinion, to get used to the non-sugar free taste of the carbonated water. But once you kind of adapt to that, they're pretty okay.
You know, we've got those boobly waters at work.
Yeah, I like the Blue Bays reasonably well. I can't remember the other one that we drink a lot. And they're all smashed over here, so I can't tell you.
The other night I got something, and I thought it was just a regular bottle of tea, but it was that Japanese, like, fermented tea. Oh, so gross.
Japanese fermented tea.
Yeah, I can't think of what it's called. It's like, what is that called?
The only fermented drink I can think of is Mexican. And it's not really a tea, it's more like a fruit drink.
Kombucha.
Yeah, kombucha. I
Yeah.
thought that was from Mexico.
No, it's Japanese.
I thought the Japanese thing had a different name, and that was like the one with the little pellets in it or whatever.
According to this, it says it's Japanese.
Okay, well then I take it back.
Anyway, but yeah, I had a bottle of that, and it was just so gross.
Apparently it's really, really good for you, though.
Apparently it is really, really good for you, but that doesn't, like, that doesn't help the taste, like, cuckoo, but
Oh no, I was drinking some around here that was made locally, again by a lovely Hispanic couple. For a while before I started the keto thing, and depending on the flavor, what you get, obviously if it's made locally as opposed to like from a can, like the bottled kombucha is not great, but like the fresh stuff is pretty good.
and I'm sure that's the case, but I don't know. Like part of it was like I opened it up expecting to get tea, and it was
It's
what I
not.
expected.
It's more like a. I don't know. In my case, I've always compared it to like more of a cidery type taste.
Oh, I thought we were on the last
No, I've been doing the traps.
the little rust monster one.
Let's see, way easier after you eat less sugar and run out till you pass out. Yeah, I don't know about the running till you pass out, but if you can get off of the sugar, your taste buds will adapt eventually.
No, I don't mind the sparkling water. Like to me, that tastes pretty good, but never again am I drinking that kombucha crap.
I would suggest giving it another shot, but like I said, you really want to find some like from a farmer's market or something.
And it's weird because you think that I would like something like that since I'm like a really big beer fan, you know. So like that fermented taste is like something I actually enjoy, but I don't know. I did not like it at all.
Yeah.
I couldn't even get through. Like I drank half of it because I was like, I bought this, I'm gonna drink it. You know what I mean? And I got through half of it and I was like, it's not worth the price. Like I don't care if I'm losing money on this.
Yeah, again, I think you just need to move into something that's fresh and local as opposed to canned.
Right. Some bonus chest there.
No, I killed all sorts of monsters.
I love these creatures, these little cavalry rust monsters. They're like one of my favorite monsters in the game.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the things that I'm gonna have to figure out how to implement into the other storyline. Homemade kombucha is much better than the stuff you buy at the store. Yeah, I don't even know if it's something necessarily that I would want to make myself.
I mean, as a general rule, homemade anything is better than store-bought.
Yeah. But I forget, don't you do your own brewing sometime, or is that just
Yeah,
LJ?
I make mead.
Yeah, so like maybe
But,
do you have a desire for this Nighthugs Hearthstone? Otherwise I'm going to turn it into XP.
it's gonna turn into XP in my
Okay.
weapon too. So
XP for everyone.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I might try that, but I don't know. I'm more keen on like brewing a batch of beer or brewing a batch of mead than I am that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, again, it all depends on your, what your long-term goals are really too. Like if you want to get your gut health up, it's one of the things that they say is really good for that.
Alright, we over the giant hold now?
I did the walk-ups already. I'm actually probably ready to level and start the tour flagging quests.
Oh man. I need to run the walk-ups before I can do that.
Yeah, I figured you're a little bit behind still.
I'm ahead of you on XP, but I'm behind you on like things to do.
Yeah, because I don't bank experience anymore.
Yeah, I know you don't. Because me and Red are what, rank 77 right now?
Yeah, so you're just like a little bit ahead.
Yeah. But I need to run the walk-ups before I take 16.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I I mean, there's some other 13s to run, but I don't really care for them, and
The walk-ups are so much experience that it probably would get me to 16 anyways. You
yeah,
know?
exactly.
Kind of a bummer because I wanted to run the. I don't like running Mad Stone by myself.
Oh yeah, I don't mind.
That was part of the reason I was like, oh, I can catch him today. I didn't know you had done Giant Hold.
Yeah, I started on it last night.
I was like, if I catch him today, I can do Giant Hold with him, and it would be great.
Speaking of great, we won that Vorpal quarterstaff of feeding at level 3, so now we have an even better quarterstaff, which means I need to decide if I want to put the Festival Solar on it. I'm inclined to, but I'm going to think about it just a little bit more. A 100 degrees and 40 pounds of cloth burns weight real fast. That sounds like a prescription to get heat stroke, not lose weight. No, I just
Where I'm at.
yeah, I just need to like keep what I'm doing. Like it's coming off. It's coming off at a reasonable pace, and I'm actually going to try a. I think after the new year, I'm going to try one of the 30-day meal plan type things. And then also, I had mentioned this. I don't remember if it was last night's show or when, but now that the bus is at a place where I kind of need to put a pause on it for a little bit. Mostly because the next group of things are kind of expensive. So like we're kind of ready to start working on the shower, like finish the shower, get the running water going, stuff like that. That's going to be like another $500, which isn't that bad really. But the next projects, the projects I should be working on, why it's kind of nasty or still nice outside before it gets nasty, the solar panels, the roof deck, stuff like that, and those things are much more expensive, right? So like physically getting the solar panels is going to be something like $1,200. Getting the charge controller is another $300. Making sure I have all the wiring is probably going to be like another $100. Some of that stuff is going to be slightly problematic. So like cost wise, then before you can put the solar panels on, you have to have a frame, which means I have to buy some of the wood and start figuring out the roof deck and so on and so forth. So like those two things are tied together, and it's probably going to be something around $3,000 together to kind of make that stuff happen. So I just don't have $3,000 right now. I mean, I do, but I don't have it that I'm ready to spend right this minute. So like the time that I've been spending working on the bus is going to kind of be freed up a little bit to work on. I'll still be working on things like I've got a lot of finish work to work on, and stuff like that. Plus the toilet is another $1,000. So like there are things to work on, but the next big chunks of it are going to be expensive purchases. So it frees up a lot of the time that I would be working on the bus to do other things. And I'm going to try to spend more time taking the dogs on walks, specifically Quinn. One, she's a little overweight too, and also she's like scared of everything. So I'm hoping to kind of get her out a little bit more often and get her exposed a little bit more and see if I can take some of these little old lady edges off. But screw it, I'm just going to the marketplace. I think I'm going to abandon you for work on those quests.
No. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. No, I'll hit you back up again. I can't dismiss myself. If I'm still 14 later tonight, which I probably will be, and you want to redo Madstone, I'll be happy to help or whatever.
Okay.
But or maybe I'll save Madstone for later. Hey, Smurf, gifting.
Well, I will.
A bunch of subs.
I actually won't be around till like 10-ish my time because I've got my mother-in-law's birthday today. So we're
Ah.
gonna go there.
That's
We're gonna
awesome.
Go over there and hang out, eat some cake, you know.
That's right, all that stuff. Alright, hang on one second. Thanks to Smurfy gifting a bunch of subs here. I actually have a bunch of people that are joining the Fat Halfling here. So, Zenbushka? Hopefully I said that somewhere near correct. Mudchook, Iceman, ZZPX. I don't remember if we had a name for you or not. John. Everybody welcome. Smurfy, thank you very much for helping everybody out with all the wonderful subs. I'm sure they appreciate it, whether they're here to give you thanks or not. I pronounce it Zex. Zexies?
Well, you know, until you gift a sub to DDO Unlimited, you know.
Oh yeah, it's fair. I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna say shoe for a minute.
Oh, I've given one to Shu too, unfortunately. I still think it's funny that Jerry got irritated that he got a sub.
I mean, it is, but I also understand the idea of like, no, give that to somebody who's going to be more
and if I could have
more
prevented
worthy.
that, then I would have, but you know,
Yeah.
unfortunately, when you give,
At random, it's random.
yeah, you just don't have the choice.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna pump bluff a bunch and then concentration once. Whoa! Thank you very much, Smurfy. Smurfy just throwing the love at the stream today. Let us enjoy some DuckTales. Oh, rewrite history. Every time this happens, I get a dirty message from Warner Brothers. I'm like, bring it on. I'll continue. I will sing the DuckTales theme song if I have to. Come at me. And then I just have to delete the video from Facebook. It's like, whatever. I'm sorry, what was that?
So I think you should be putting the hat on every time that comes on.
Maybe. I'll put the hat on now. Although I meant to work on this last week while I was on vacation, but so much crap just happened I didn't get the chance to work on it. But yeah, this is like the Samus hat, but it's space bald. Thanks you for that, Smurf. I appreciate it. Any excuse to play the DuckTales theme song is great in my book, and that bit generation is extremely meaningful. I really do appreciate it, and all the other support as well. Not to sound arrogant, but when it's all done, the way you feel with your character changes because you know it won't get much better. Is that true? That could be true.
What's that?
Basically, Thougar's saying that once you've kind of crested the goals that you've been chasing, when you reach that point, it gets difficult to basically oh wait, what am I doing with this masshole person? Your feelings, like the chase, when the chase drops off, your overall vibe of your character changes. So like right now, for example, I love getting the experience on Samus, right? I feel like it's the momentum is constantly moving forward. But if I was somebody who already finished all of my lives, right? Like I'm a Distributed or Tobrel or a Thoughtgar, the chase is gone. And then the chase becomes what DDO is putting out there instead of something that I could be working for.
I feel that it becomes just a different goal. Like,
Well, as I said, I
never
think you have to
really
continuously
done.
adapt your goals, right?
Yeah.
So like it's just like real life. You know, say I have a goal to get the bus finished, and then once the bus is finished, I have to set a new goal. And that goal is going to be, all right, I'm going to start making 2 new YouTube videos that are edited for sightseeing or something a week. And then that might change to, I do that for a year, it might change to 3 a week or whatever. So you have to be in the constant shape of adaptation, just like real life.
Putting one video on OnlyFans every week.
Yeah. Apparently this shirtless Samus OnlyFans is where it's going to be at. I keep telling people I'd be more content doing the bottoms, but
You more content doing the bottoms?
yeah, I could go bottomless. I think easier than topless. Maybe that'll change after a few
Why not
more pounds. Whoo, both?
Why not both?
Risque, my friend, risque.
Well, you know, that's me.
When you have everything on a character, it does change. You just sit at 30, pretty much do raids or something, but they introduce a new race or class, and you have to get on again. Yeah, I mean, again, it comes down to what are you gonna do, right? Like, what's your, how do you set your challenges? Like Distributed, for example, he's like, I'm gonna R10 every quest that you can R10, solo R10 every quest that I can do, and I'm like, that's a pretty reasonable, pretty out there goal to like adapt now that you've finished off your various past lives and things. Like I'm pretty far away from there, you know, in my opinion. Even though I play a bunch.
I have plans on, like, when I finish Talab, right, then I'm gonna go and work on, like, Nikki, you know, and then, like, Irisu, you know what I mean? Like, one of my goals is I'd like to have a completionist of every, like melee, spellcaster, specialist, you know what I mean? Like, every one of those. I'd like to have one of the 3, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I said
Not every class, just the categories, you know what I mean?
yeah, role to fill.
Yeah. Like to have a completionist of every one.
Yeah, see, I feel like once I get my... So it turns out I'm not a triple completionist. I actually forgot that even though I have done a couple of different Alchemist lives, I haven't... A bunch of them counted as racial lives and not Alchemist lives. So I actually have to go back and do 2 more Alchemist lives as well.
Yep. One of them being a poison dog.
Yeah, one of them is probably going to be a poison dog. Just because I think it's going to be so left field that it's going to be... I can hopefully make some interesting videos around it.
Although, that being said, I don't know that you could do an Alchemist poison dog, because weren't we talking about doing more Druid levels than Alchemist levels?
So I had a plan at the time, and you need... The reason why I was kind of hung up on more Alchemist levels was because of the... for whatever reason, I was thinking that I wanted to get the evasion through the Alchemist. But you don't have to if you take Monk or Rogue. There's room in there to take 2 or 3 levels of something. I think 2 levels. So you end up going like 8 to or 3. Like if you go Monk, you go 3.
Right.
Pretty easily, and that gives you access to your your light or negative finisher. Why is this not spotting right here? But it lets you get away with like an basically an 8, 7, 3 build, I believe. Is that enough levels? No, that's not enough levels. Because you need 7 levels, I think, to be a dog. If you're going to do it the ice dog. And I think you have to go 1 level above that if you want to have Cone of Cold, which I think is pretty good. But I would have to, like I said, I'd have to re-look at the math. But I think there's a build there that maybe is not good, but I could at least be interesting. And it may not even come together until like level 15 or something. But once I get that done, so I have finished this life, 1 more human life, 3 shifter lives now, and then 2 alchemist lives, and then my heroic levels are temporarily finished. Right? And then I have a bunch of iconics to work on. But I'm not gonna get every iconic. I'm not gonna like triple iconic probably, unless I just completely fall in love with epic levels all over again.
Right.
Which seems unlikely to me. It is possible, but I just don't know how much I'm going to love it. So at that point, my plan will become like I want to get JavaBot to a place that I'm happy with him again. Right? And then I kind of want to take, because of the hardcore server, I have these Samuses, right, that have come over from the hardcore server. And I kind of want to take and build a Samus in a different role. Right? So, like, this Samus is going to be whatever I do for, like, DC spellcasting. Because there's no way I'm going to be able to get the another Samus to that point for high level in-game spellcasting. But then I just want to take and like I want to turn one of the Samuses into like a DPS melee, like in a high tier DPS melee if I can. It doesn't have to be the greatest ever, but it would be nice if I could get something that is close.
So basically, like what I was saying, that I want to do is like you want to do one of every kind of role that you can do, like a healer,
No, I mean, yes and no. Basically, I just want to put every one of those Samuses into a position where if I can, or if I want to, I can pull out a Samus and do something. But yeah, it'd be nice to have a role, but less necessarily based off of those roles and more to do with, like, things that I'm interested in doing. So, like, I want to have a Samus that's an arty. I may want a Samus that's... I'm going to ignore that for now. Hopefully I'll get a text message or something for who that is. It does look like a semi-familiar number. But, I don't know. I want to be able to take the time to have basically role fillers ready to go on roles that I enjoy filling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't like need a ranged person, right? It's just not a role that I normally love. I don't need although maybe the arty will do that too. Just more like class or builds that I really want to have available, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like I could have 3 different arties. I might have a melee arty, I might have a ranged arty, I may have a I guess those are really the only 2 arties. But I do really like the arty class. But I just want to like play and experiment with stuff, and
Right.
part of the reason why other characters for me don't get the same amount of love as Samus does, because they're not Samuses.
Right.
Well, now I have an army of Samuses. So go back to it. Like maybe I do work on a tank, get another tank working again. That would be something I would very much enjoy having around, I think. again at some point. Am I going to do it very often? Probably not. But basically, I just want to put them in a position where I can do something with them
Right.
and gear them up, or at least figure out the spots that they're supposed to be in, and then so I can start weeding out other roles. Excuse me. So, like, for example, I have a character I call Challenge Bot, right? I forget exactly what level he's parked at. I think 15 maybe. And the idea is that he sits there and he does nothing but the challenges. Well, I haven't used him to do challenges in forever. And his build is like super outdated. It's just not what I need for that kind of thing anymore. But I've gotten in this position lately where I do need the occasional challenge mat. And then I had to like go take Samus and go do challenges, and I wasn't about that. So I'll take one of those Samuses and turn him into a challenge person. Thank you. But all that stuff's gotta wait. It's also just as likely that I turn the Samuses into a more... It makes more sense, like, storage alts.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is a fighter Samus. This is where I keep weapons. This is a... You know... A ranged Samus. This must be where I keep my bows. And kind of clarify some of that. Like, there are plenty of things to do besides get experience and farm loot. Things that take time and energy that I have not even begun to give to anything. And of course, you know, it would be good to kind of move back into some raiding things occasionally. I actually had a lot of fun doing the raids on the hardcore server. You know, there's quests that I need to become more proficient in. At some point, I'm going to find either if I have to watch other people's videos or what, I don't know, beg, borrow, steal to get distributed or to Brel to come back, but I have got to learn Temple of Elemental Evil Part 1 and Part 2. I've got to spend more time in Tower of Frost, get more comfortable with it.
I
Like,
can
there's-
teach you Temple of Elemental Evil. I farmed it this last life.
Yeah, see, there's a bunch of quests that...
I was trying to get my Elemental Bloom, and I didn't end up getting it.
Yeah, I need to find... That's another thing. I need to get one of those Elemental Blooms.
Instead, I got the corrosive great axe.
Oh, is that what you're using?
That's what I was using earlier until I switched over to the Macrobay or whatever, the
Macabre?
Barovian one. Yeah, the Barovian one.
Oh, okay. I just didn't recognize the art on what you were swinging around.
Yeah, that's the Barovian. It's, I don't know, I'm not sure if it's correct to be using Barovian over the, like, fully upgraded corrosive one, but...
I'm surprised you're married to axes. I'm telling you, man, the petrifying quarterstaff, shadow staff, this thing is like a house.
Yeah.
And
I was really in between either the great axes or going great sword and just using the sword of shadow, but I've used sword of shadow so many lives, I just want something different, you know what I mean?
yeah.
I haven't used axes in so long that I'm like, let's just do an axe life, you know?
Yeah, for theme.
Yeah.
Oh, like I said, I've just been so retaken back by the power of the quarterstaffs again. I'll probably, like, quarterstaffs I think are going to move into that same bank as daggers would for me. You know, like, there's so much that fills in there. Same thing with, like, a heavy crossbows. Again, now, like, the fact that there's I guess there's not a universal tree for quarterstaffs, but having the kind of support and having the fact that every character class can use a quarterstaff. Everybody can take advantage of the strike through.
There really needs to be a quarterstaff enhancement tree, and I imagine we'll get one at some point, but I imagine we'll probably get it about the same time that we get a iconic monk.
Maybe. I don't know. I just the quarterstaffs are very, very surprisingly good right now. Like, and three levels of rogue really kind of makes the build kind of sing. I'm gonna try a 4th level because I think the 4th level is gonna just push it completely over the top. And if
I'm
you're
gonna do a quarterstaff build at some point, just to win,
Yeah.
or even what it's gonna be.
Yeah, there's a couple of different ones. So I just, I don't know, I want to kind of experiment with it and see what happens. Like, I enjoyed the monk quarterstaff build that I did. I'm enjoying this one a lot. This one, up, down, down, up. Up, down, down, up. Alright, got it. Like, I'm enjoying this one a lot. This one is probably the most my style. And I could see doing this on the hardcore, which is part of what I wanted to do. Is I wanted to find something that I would be comfortable with, but is also a little bit more different than what I've been having success with on the hardcore.
Right.
And I mean, honestly, this thing is very much right up my alley for everything. You're right, like, it's got a reasonable DPS. It's got the various spell access. If I wanted to, I could spend some, you know, I'm focused on enchantment. So, like, I could be doing crowd control effects at a much better pace than I'm doing now. In fact, I should be doing better crowd control, but I'm killing things so fast.
Yeah.
It almost doesn't even matter.
When I was going over builds, thinking about this, I was talking to Quintina about doing a quarterstaff build, and the only thing that pushed me into Axis was the fact that I didn't end up getting that elemental bloom.
Right.
Had I got that elemental bloom, I very likely would have been on quarterstaff.
Yeah. I mean, I could also see someone being like Falchions. Falchions would also be pretty good. There's just not as many great Falchions.
And the build that I really wish I could do, and I just don't think that it's viable anymore, was like one of Tolad's very first lives as a wizard was an enchanter using Topeshes. Now this is like way back in the day when you held something and it was an auto crit. So that's why it worked back then, but it just doesn't. I don't think it's gonna work now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, way back in that same period of time, I actually had Samwise. Now Samwise is, I think, it became my old AC tank project from like back when DDO, what was that called? My DDO, when My DDO was still a thing. And I was blogging every single day and working on things every single day. And I had shown how you could easily get your armor class up to, I forget where I was at, something like 99 or something.
I know, like, if you had an AC of like 90 back then, you were able to tank Sulamati's Horoth without a healer.
Yeah, it was very close.
I had a dex build like halfling monk. She never did any damage, but she could tank Horoth without a healer. You know what I mean?
Good luck,
And
Smurfy.
And she could grasp the Earth Dragon the entire party, so, you know, it was like,
Yeah.
that was really good for TOD. You know, like, that's what that character was just like, she sat at endgame and did TOD, and that's all she ever did, you know?
Yeah, and I don't know, I just, so original, like I said, the up, down, down, up. The original Samwise was a similar build, except I used picks because of the same reason. They were the auto crit, get him in auto crit mode and just go to town. Up, down, down, up. Yeah, it's...
that was my like go-to wizard, and I wish I could do that again because that was a lot of fun. But the fact that you don't auto crit anymore just kind of...
Yeah, but I don't know how much you need it now. Like, you could, if you wanted to do 2-weapon fighting Kopeshes and stuff like that, I think you can. I don't think it's necessary. Like, you can just pick anything, right? And even if you, like, want to do the... Sorry, I'm clicking these options here. If you wanted to take, like, a fighter level, or, you know, there's, like, a lot of different levels that you could splash in there if you wanted to for things either.
Yeah. I don't even know that Khopesh is, like, really, like, the king of, like, weapons as it used to be. You know what I mean?
I don't think so.
Like, used to be, Khopesh was, like, if you weren't running Khopesh, you were, like, running suboptimally, you know? And now I don't think that's the case anymore.
No, they've done a really good job of making other weapons as, viable for a similar cost. So, like, you can basically turn, like, if you're a bard and you're swashbuckling, you can pretty much turn any of those swashbuckling weapons into a Khopesh, right?
Yeah.
If
Well,
you...
like if you're swashbuckling with a bard, you want to do rapier nowadays. Like, that seems like the best weapon for swashbuckle.
I don't know if that's true.
But
I still feel like daggers are the superior weapon when it comes to swashbuckling. Because you can overlap so much. Like, you don't need a whole lot more in the other trees. And that frees up a lot of points that you can dump into the Knife Fighter tree. And then even if you're... Like, say you're swashbuckling 99% of the time, which I would. That doesn't mean there isn't an opportunity that you could be like, alright, I need to swap into 2-weapon fighting or something. Like, you have options to move into the other style. But all of those bonuses that you're picking up, they just apply over there also. So, for me, I'm a big fan of the knife fighting stuff with the swashbuckler. It all just makes so much sense. Alright, something is hitting me for a massive ton of force damage. Is it you? I literally don't see anything else. Must have been him.
okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what decided to be problematic there. So here's a gear question for everybody. Here at level 17, oh yeah, I forget, gotta touch people. Gotta touch people to do things. Here at level 17, do I switch out of part of the family and into the Necromancer set? Do I just switch the bracers out? I mean, there's a lot of potential bits and bobs in there, and I honestly don't know what's the better play on some of these things. Alright, let's Circle of Death right here. Like, the Necromancer set is very strong. The Dread Presence set. but we lose 10% to melee power, or 10 to melee power, and 10 to double strike. I don't know how much at the end of the day it actually matters. Our attack speed is very high. Like, is this extra 10% double strike going to break us over the massive increase to our negative energy spell power? You haven't watched me play, you just expect me to kill them all. It's fair. I don't know, I may have to do like a real comparison at a point. My main thing is that if I'm trying to optimize my survivability, right? Trying to survive as much as possible, then the Dread Presence set seems to make a lot more sense. If I'm trying to just kill the monsters as quickly as possible, then maybe I want to stay this way. But also, I have to look at some of the perks, but don't you also get increased... I think you get some spell DCs out of it as well. I don't know, look. Man, I got the DuckTales theme song in my head now. It always makes me smile. Appreciate that, Smurfs. Should rotate some of those other theme songs around as well. Oh yeah, so much damage. But anyway, this is the thing that I'm trying to think about right now. Like, look at my Death Ward ticks. 29, 26. We'll fire off the littler one as well. 32, 66. Like, it adds up. If the bad guys don't hurt you, then I max it, right? I guess I'm not entirely following around, but if the bad guys don't hurt, or they don't hurt badly, well, you're probably in a good spot. I have to play Chase. Oh, we lost our shield spell. Alright, I currently have the aggro, right? Nope. So if you cast your AoEs like right in the middle of this circle, they'll stay through the changing of the... changing of the seasons or whatever you want to call it, planes. Doesn't always do anything, but because the monster's still got to run in the middle. But at the very least, hopefully that'll get the guy to come to the middle, target me, and then run to wherever I happen to be, which is good. All right. I feel like I'm just gonna go ahead and do Madstone Crater. I was thinking about saving it for a little bit later for Talab, but I can just do it again. Just do it again and help him out if he needs it. Well, I don't necessarily think it's bad for the Reapers to hit hard and the Reaper quest to be punishing. I feel like they've done a good job, almost a overcorrection, not quite, but close, on like the amount of Reapers that spawn now. Like it feels pretty good. And stuff like that. So it definitely has some hits and misses. Like the champions feel really good. When a couple of the Reapers pop out at once, like you definitely feel like, oh, I just died. So then if you strategize and work your way through it and you don't die, it feels really solid. But then when you're like, you hit a 3 Reaper room and then you move on and then you end up hitting like a double or a triple Reaper room immediately after, it feels like, alright game, I get it, you want me to die more than that. Like, or I think if the monsters were just, they hit a little bit harder, or like the numbers need tweaked just a little bit, I think, to keep it. That being said, I used to do Reaper 3s and now I'm just doing Reaper 1s. So maybe I just need to hush my mouth. I just feel like right now there's not a reason to do higher Reapers for me. Like I need 40,000 Reaper experience to get another point, and at 500 or 600 Reaper, we're talking 1,000 quests. So now I need to move the die on the other side. But even if I were getting 1,000, I need 100 quests. That's a lot too. So right now I just need to take, I really need to jump into like some of the legendary Reaper stuff, which it looks like if distributed until Breller back a little bit, I might be able to talk them into a little bit of like running me around through some legendary Reaper stuff for that first time bonuses, even if they're doing the hard carries. They're usually pretty good about stuff like that. Well, yeah. That's... Hell, if Velo just gave me a nickel every time he said it, I'd be rich. Should check in. I haven't checked in with him since I kind of got back from vacation. I'm sure he's just busy getting his house packed up. everything got confirmed. He is, in fact, taking off for England around the start of December. So he's got, what, a month and a half to get his house packed up and kind of hauled away. I haven't got a Dragon Shard fragment. You know, I guess I got one yesterday, maybe. I feel like I usually get at least 2 a week, but it feels like it's been a while since I've gotten one. Oh, that reminds me. Something I wanted to check on. Why the bags are on sale. Alright, shared crafting bank space, collectibles bags, gym bags, ingredients bags, augment bags. I really thought that mount bags were on sale, or that they sold them in the store. And the hirelings folders are not on sale. Okay. I was just checking. I had mentioned on DDoCast that I thought that the bags were on sale, but they're not. You can't in fact get hireling bags or mount bags without the Keep on the Borderlands pack. Wow, look at that guy's pumpkin head. Well, being home is pretty good. I feel like I'm missing something right here. I don't see what it is. Let's get this party started. Cloud kill going. Cloud kill's a great one to use in this kind of situation. It's gonna hit everything. It's gonna give them a couple of different things to like worry about, and it's gonna should reset their aggro to you pretty much no matter what. Oh, see, this is that situation I was talking about with all the Reapers. And it should also last like a really, really long time. Cloud effects trigger off when they're entered, as opposed to like Firewall. It seems to be on a timer where everything takes damage at that same time, as opposed to like when they enter. 1 minute and 6 seconds. Yeah, it's down now. Fortunately, we were a little slow on that Cloud. She already re-healed him. That should be enough. This should kind of get us under control. This seems to be the part of the quest that everybody seems to dislike, is protecting this first seer in particular. After this, I feel like that it's pretty much like everyone's pretty much on plan or on board with the quest after this particular fight. It is long and spread out. It's not the most exciting. But once you clear that initial wave, the rest of it's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. Tlab says he doesn't like the second seer. Yeah, this, like I said, this one seems to be the one that I hear the most that people don't like. The second seer, I think, is probably my favorite. Sometimes this one's really fun too, though. Yeah, if you can get one of the Ogre Magi's to chase you and cast Fear on the Giant will run all the way up here, and then you can talk to him way up here, and he'll do the crystal shattering over there. Like, it's doing that's not tied to anything in particular. Other than just keeping the seer alive. Really feel like there's an opportunity here to find the right angle to like really take an interesting screenshot with one of these giants as a champ with the thing on its head. Keep that handy here. I have a feeling we got a couple more. Excuse me. I don't know. I'd have to look at your forecast and then figure out what the reliability of your particular meteorologists are. Our guys around here lately have been all over the place. It is the time of the year where things get awkward here in Kansas. You mad at me yet? Alright, sweet. Stop attacking him. There we go. Best thing you can say is the cranberries have been real good through COVID. I miss fruits. I'm not gonna lie, that's one of the things that I do actually miss. I mean, clearly it was just completely filled with sugars. But I do miss the opportunity to get like an apple juice or something like that every once in a while. I'm not even saying like every day but right now that would knock me so hard out of keto that it would not be value. I don't miss pop or anything like that. I've been pop free long enough that doesn't bother me. But like my wife was asking me, she's like, how do you feel about Magic Spoon? I'm like, I don't know. It's probably fine. And Magic Spoon, for those of you who don't know, is like it's a super low carb cereal brand. They do a lot of non-digestible carbohydrates and fiber so your body passes them, but it still gives you that chewy, munchy, crunchy flavor. But I was like, oh man, what do I put in my Magic Spoon if I get some? Like, I guess I just go get some almond milk. But that also, you got to look at how many carbs that you're having in there. It's pretty easy to take in way too many carbs. But man, I'd really go for a glass of like cranberry apple juice right now. I guess is where I was going with that. Or hell, a strawberry would be amazing. I was talking about that the other day. Like, I would really go for a strawberry. A couple of strawberries. A peach, a mango. I've been watching another guy, another YouTube channel lately. Another one of those like go out, survive kind of channels where he like takes fun projects and goes and does things. So like for example, one of the things that he did was he built a floating platform, like 16 by 16, maybe not even that big, maybe it's 16 by 8, but no, it's bigger than that. It's 3 sheets of plywood by 3 sheets of plywood, so that would be 16 by 16, yeah, 16 by 16. And no, it would be bigger than that. Because a sheet of plywood is 8 by 4, right? So it'd be 12. So it'd be, I don't know, whatever. So he built this floating dock thing, and then he spent a week basically living on it. They took some initial supplies, you know, like a pound of bacon, a couple pounds of butter, stuff like that, you know, for like cooking supplies. But most of what they ate came out of the lake, right? What they could catch and fish and stuff. And he did another one that I watched recently where he got one of those bottle cutting tools, you know, like you use to make plastic emergency rope or string or whatever from. He took one and he modified it to be about half of the regular size string that you cut. And he basically turned it into a fishing line, right? Like that was the idea. So he made a plastic bottle fishing line, and then at first he used a plastic bottle as a pole. So basically the idea was that with the exception of this tool and his hooks, he was able to like scavenge everything else. And that was still the goal. He eventually switched off of the bottle and into a handmade pole. But anyway, it's not the point. The point is that he's been making these fish tacos with mangoes, and they just look ridiculous. I'm not as ready to come down here as I thought I was. I think there's one more guy here I think this guy's still misbehaving. So anyway, mango fish tacos sound amazing. Yeah, I mean, food is delicious, right? Like that's part of the goodness about it. I mean, when you don't have any things. What are they? Oh no, I know how this goes. There's a saying. I think the French have maybe, or maybe it's the Italians. Hunger is the best sauce. There you go. Hunger's the best sauce. Alright, so here's this guy. I don't know if you guys are interested. Here's that YouTube channel. Fowler's Makery and Mischief. I said, here's the raft they built. But he does a lot of really cool, in my opinion, like projects. They're all around like camping and fishing and hiking, and like one that I had started watching but I didn't finish was they were comparing a BB gun, like your regular classic air pump action BB gun, to a homemade slingshot, and what was more efficient for like bringing down small game. It's one of the things that I've actually been considering myself, is picking up one of these like high power slingshots for taking down small game. For example, we have here in Kansas, we have 100 million tree rats, and our tree rat season is like 10 months long. So you can, and by tree rats I mean squirrels. So you can hunt squirrels here in Kansas. I want to say 8 or 10 or 11 months out of the year. So like, I have an air BB gun that I've used a couple of times to try to like get rid of small pests in the past, and that's fine. But honestly, it's just, I think it would be better to become super proficient with a good slingshot. I also need to get a really nice small axe, like a bigger than a hatchet but smaller than like your big axe, like a forester's axe, something that I could easily break down smaller branches, or even small chunks of logs. So quite a few projects that I could be spending time working on, and maybe we'll record videos. I've been looking at getting a GoPro for reasons. Maybe that'll be something that we play with. The animal that took out my ducks was a fox. It was just doing its job. Like, I can't be mad at the fox for trying to survive. My job was to keep them safe from the fox. The fox's job was to try to get them so it can live. I'm not going to begrudge them. I'm not going to get revenge on an animal that doesn't know why it's getting revenged or whatever. I mean, all the fox knows is it was hungry and there was food there, and if it could find a way to get to the food. Continue back to Stormreach. I'm gonna re-ship buff, knock out Tor, and then we'll see where we're at, like level wise. Oh, actually, while we're at it, let's grab this. I don't necessarily plan on doing these quests, but I have like a bunch of these, so I think I'm just gonna take the Vala cookies. That's a nice detail. I don't remember that being there before. Right? Has this been here always? I don't think so. I think that's a new... I think that's new. That seems new. This was there, but was that there? I don't know. Well, I mean, every time you lose a pet, it's tough. You know, you can't deny that it's difficult to lose a pet. Ooh, I gotta put one more point somewhere. Neither of those seem good. +1 to crit multipliers seems bad also. Really don't do that much with the scrolls though. Alright, so now we can start taking improved Knight's Transformation. See, that's a competence. This is a morale bonus. And then hopefully this will continue to stack with with this feat. Improve critical. Hopefully all that stuff will come together and we'll go 17 to 20 times 3. No, that's just a critical multiplier, not range. It's kind of sad. +3 damage and the mobile spellcasting feat. And then we can pick one of these bad boys over here. Enchantment, DCs, and 20 melee spell power, or evocation and 20 spell power. So we'll probably end up going enchantment. Oh, this is the one. This is the other one that we're looking for. This Force's Edge. So yeah, like I'm excited for all of those. Yes. We were neutral in the Civil War for a little while. But we had some of the biggest abolitionists were here in Kansas. This is a purple and a red axe. Is that worth keeping and selling? Obviously not Seeker and Assassinate, but as a double item. I mean, purple is not real common, right? This is a red and an orange, but this is not what I would consider good. The guy wants 14 shards for it. Alright. I don't actually have any shards. You have to have a shard to start a shard, right? Apparently I'm not allowed to just double click the shard thing. Very well. Didn't want to buy any shards from you anyway, DDO. Nah. I did actually. I really wanted to buy shards. Let's see. Level 4. Grab our fire shield. We probably should have had that for a long time. We'll grab our dancing ball. We'll grab our hold person mass. I haven't cast like hardly any of these spells, to be honest. It's probably time for another bar anyhow. A dancing ball. Do we even care about any of the rest of this stuff? Not particularly. Good enough. Good enough. Alright. Let's knock out this let's knock out Tor here, and then we'll see where we go. Where do we go from here? Yeah, that's a... Speaking of Warlock Fish, I have to imagine that the Warlocks out there are pretty excited for the Warlock change, right? But that Warlock change seems good to me. 20% increase to your range on one of the stances or whatever. That seems quite strong. It's probably not in one of the... It's probably like the littlest mode or something. So people probably haven't really noticed, but... Yeah, they may not use it later, but I've used it in the past for long range stuff. Like when you... Because it's universal, right? Everybody gets it. It's like when you need to hit something from far away is when you switch into it. Yeah, I feel like that's a really solid change. For those of you that can't see what I'm doing over here, I'm gonna actually turn my video capture off for a second. Hi. Okay, so one of the things that I always do is I set these multi-selector things up for multiple modes. Beheld. No beheld. Fine, giant scum. Oh, you tried to send a tell while my camera was off? Wasn't off for very long. Because I keep those... I really don't need to make those bars quote-unquote private or anything. They just happen to be because I do keep my chat bar covered. Not that I get a lot of chat messages or whatever. I mentioned that on last night's show. Like, it's not as important to me outside of like people sending me tells going, hey, can I do X or can I do Y or whatever. Which again, I know it sounds really odd for a lot of people that I do enjoy soloing. It's one of the things that I've always kind of said that DDO is really interesting about, or really good about, is the play how you want to play, right? You don't have to play with a group if you don't want to play with a group. You can play with a small group if you want to play with a small group. You can play with big groups if you want to play with big groups. Like, it's very customizable to what you want to do, which is not something that a lot of the MMOs that I have played in the past are capable of. You know, a lot of those are based around you want a full party, you need a full party. If you don't have a full party, you're probably not going to be able to do the thing. That certainly doesn't mean in all situations, but certainly something that I feel like that happens more often than not. The imbue with shadow is a buff, not a toggle. Oh, from the new tree? I haven't looked into the new tree very much. Yeah, I haven't purchased it, although Smurfy's very generous donation today certainly got us to the halfway point of being able to get it, so, or nearly the halfway point. So I might make tonight's stream a fundraiser stream to get it. We'll see if people jump in to help us come up with some extra dollars. Sploosh. Thank you for that, Gore. Every little bit helps for sure, for sure. I mean, I could... Again, I don't want to say that I can't get it. I can get it. The difference is that I've been wanting to get a GoPro so we can start working on putting out some other content for the stream and the stream / YouTube, and then I put a lot of that aside to help Shu. I sent Shu about as much as I could really afford to send Shu. Because I feel like he's as much part of this stream as anybody. You know, he's helped set up the Discord server. The DDO Wiki basically helps me like everything. And he's certainly one of the more active people on the DDO Wiki for getting things done. Even I'm in the DDO Wiki's Discord chat, and even with everything that's going on, people are still sending him messages like this is going on with the wiki, how do I fix it? And he's still taking the time to like answer those questions for everybody. So it certainly is a member of this community. So I certainly wanted to help him out the best I could. So that kind of set us back a little bit on some goals. Huh. Did you guys see that? That spell did in fact cast. I don't think it actually got to the bad guys. That time it got to the bad guys. Interesting. No, I asked you to pull the lever. Okay, she did. I don't know if she's going to be faster than me or not. Looks like I'll beat her to it. Oh, man. What do we make for lunch? Actually, I made a chicken fried steak using almond flour last night for dinner. I have 2 more cube steaks. I could do that again. I don't know if that's what I feel like, but I could do. What else do I have up there? I've got eggs. Should probably just go eat eggs. I have a turkey breast that I should make for dinner. Yeah, I think I'll make that for dinner. So then, knowing that dinner is planned, I should probably eat something kind of lightish. Yeah, I guess I'll probably end up making eggs. Not really in the mood for eggs, though. Might have a little bit of sausage. Maybe I make a sausage egg scramble. That'd be good. That's how you know we're getting close to the end of the stream. When I start thinking about food, that's my body's way of saying, you know what, you're almost out of time, Sam. Stream is almost over. Is it? It is 1:58. I guess it is getting close. Everybody else is like, we had breakfast and lunch, and now, what are you complaining about? We've already had breakfast and lunch. The Orthons will take 4,000 hit points in 2 hits. That's pretty crazy. Damage seems good. It does seem good. Infinitely might be right. This may be too good. Too much damage. No such thing. Yeah, we need to take Quicken soon. See, 2 more wizard levels and we'll pick up another mana magic feat. I don't think we're going to get Quicken for a minute. We might go back and change something to Quicken. I have not played a legendary raid at all? Is that true? No, I did. I've done legendary shrouds. But I think that's probably it. Trying to think if there's anything else that comes to mind. I can't really think of anything. So I've not done much legendary stuff, legendary raids at all, let alone anything in the Reaper category. Again, it's one of those situations where I would like to take the time to get somebody viable and in that position, but I feel like to really be a help, it's gonna have to be Samus. So, the wait. Why couldn't this have 2 slots? I take a crack at crafting something with 2 slots. I'm still just gonna take it. Alright. Let's see. That puts us at 0 action points. The Prophecy and me. It doesn't really matter as long as it doesn't have a slot in it. This is 12. I think all these are 12, right? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, what is this? Perform a spinning melee attack, dealing weapon damage 5 weapon to all nearby enemies. The attack has plus 10 critical threat range, plus 3 to critical multiplier. Enemies affected are knocked prone for 1 second and slowed for 50% for 6 seconds. Any foe struck by Eldritch Tempest, your weapon also releases an explosion of a magical force, dealing an extra 1d6 points of force damage to character levels by all nearby enemies. This is affected by your spell power. I think I'm in. Spell point cost gets reduced by each thing, and the cooldown... Wow, the cooldown really goes down, doesn't it? It goes from 1 minute cooldown to 45-second cooldown to 30-second cooldown. That's a significant cooldown reduction. Usually on these kind of cooldown things, it's not that big of a deal. That's pretty good. Where do we want to put that? Do I even care about this anymore? Like, we're not casting lightning bolts. Sure, whatever. Yeah, Eldritch Tempest. Oh man, that looks sweet. If you had 3 killers coming at you, red named at flanking position, and they can be one-shot, and they can one-shot most, what is the best thing to do with your mana to finish the boss? I mean, honestly, I would probably try to dance one of them, and then I would probably move away so the boss can't reach me, and then I would work on cleaning up the trash. That would be my probable way of handling the situation. But that would, because the irresistible dance is usually there. You could probably powered blind a second one. So you essentially disabled 2 of the enemies, at least for 30 seconds or so you can focus on the third one, the one that you hadn't blinded. Alright. Yummy yummy. Yummy yummy. Yummy yummy. And everything else is just random things, right? Yeah. Alright, before we go, we want to do a couple of things. And part of it's going to be me asking you guys for advice. And part of it's going to be whatever. So, this is the Hardcore Samus Season 3, right? Oh, look at there. I got my little note and my dog and my starter spirits cake. Nice. Alright. So we have a couple of things here. First of all, does this go in this? It does not. Gross. Alright, so I'm gonna dump these 3 over here. We're full. So let's grab... Don't need an extra searing light there. Grab that necklace. Honestly, don't see us wearing that at all, but it's fine. Okay, so here is our Bone Crusher. So for those of you who don't know about the Bone Crusher, one of the things that's a little bit weird about the Bone Crusher is it is level 18, but it does say that it accepts sentience, and it talks about like it just seems good, right? So my plan is to use the Bone Crusher at level 18. So now on Samus, on this Samus,
Nothing can stand against us.
I have a sentient gem with the Beholder set in it. So I have a 3-piece Beholder set, and then I actually have a 4th piece up here in my Epic Voice of the Master, giving us the 4-piece set for all of the spell DCs. Okay? Now, let's set that aside, and let's go back to Samus over here. Am I allowed to log off, DDO? There we go. No? We're not allowed to log off? Should we try again? Oh, here we go. We're logging out. We're logging out. Alright. So I'm going to jump back over here to regular Samus. So, this is the question. Okay, we have a couple of different paths to take here. So, first of all, this sentient jewel that I carry around is currently in an epic sworn silver crossbow, whatever. That's not a big deal. Pull that out, do whatever, it's fine. Come on, there we go. Alright, so we grab our Bone Crusher. I think I'm gonna grab 2,000 sentient experience. Yeah. That won't waste any sentient experience.
I wonder what you'll pick. So many choices.
So now I need not that many more experience. Like I think we can get there pretty quickly. Okay? So my question is, what do we want to slot? Because I'm going to take this gem out, put it into the Bone Crusher. Okay? And then I'm going to spend a little bit of time probably and go through various junk characters and start grabbing and filling out this sentient experience out of like miscellaneous junk that's laying around. Try to get this sentient XP capped out. And then I also happen to have the spark. I thought it goes in one of these bags, doesn't it? It's an augment? It's not an augment. There it is. Spark of Memory. It goes in the augment bag. So like I'll be able to make this a 7-tier item pretty soon. So what do we slot into it for a handful of ideas? One, it's going to be going in a quarterstaff, right? Two, I think you can take... Let me just do this also. Two, what do we want it to be? Right? Like, what is the final voice that we want it to be? So the reason I bring it up is I know there's a way that you can transfer the sentient experience from one gym to another. Here's why. And I have the Sentient Jewel of the Dragon that I haven't used yet. So we could make this our Sentient Gem. Or we can make it our new trash can. I think a lot of this miscellaneous level 29 stuff I actually have extra copies of now. So, lots of things I'm actually looking for people's advice on. Do we use the Sentient Jewel of the Dragon? Do we just don't care? Do we... What is our quest? No. What do we do with what do we slot into it? Etc. So let me bounce back to Samus for one more time here. So again, this one, right, if we were to look at what I have in here, I have the 4-piece Frozen Wanderer set. So this is giving 5% cold spell critical, 10 MMR, cold mastery, gain 50 cold spell power. Melee and ranged attacks get 46 plus 1d6 per epic character level in cold damage. Meaning, it should just be 46 damage all the time. That seems like pretty good for level 18. Which means that I would probably switch off of Fire, Firewall, etc. And I would switch to like Ice Storm, the Cold Bolt, Cone of Cold somewhere would get floated in, Cold Blast, etc. And then I would imagine that we would change our belt as well. So if we just assume that we can basically switch our fire and our cold spell power around, that would take us to 400-ish cold spell power, give or take. Approximate. And then, like I said, this 46 scales with spell power. This would scale with cold spell power. Some other things. So I don't know if this continues to be good or not. This one's a common, but this one's a rare. So we're picking up some cold absorption and 2 magical resistance rating. This one's a rare. 9 more cold spell power and 4 universal spell power. This one's also a rare that gives 2, 1 to charisma and 2 to PRR. And then this guy is +1 attack and damage. But I could do a 2 set, but that doesn't make any sense. I do a 3 set, that doesn't make a lot of sense either. So like this, if I had a 4-piece and a 3-piece, what would I do and what should I run? It's kind of my thinking. So let me kind of let you guys think about it. You guys let me know what you may or may not mull over. Those of you who deal with stuff in epic levels a lot, and I'm kind of curious of your thoughts. All right, with that, everybody, I'm gonna bounce out. I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon. I'm gonna get something to eat. I'll probably be back around 7 or 8 Central Standard Time, which will be 5 or 6 hours, depending on when we actually get started. It could be earlier, it could be 6:30. I don't know. It really just depends on what's going on. So, peace, much love. We'll see you again real soon. Don't forget youtube.com/SamUsGarobo. If you're not already subscribed, I'd really appreciate it. Shh, no noise. No noise from you. And we'll see you guys really soon.